G'day, hi and welcome. All right, I don't have much memory left, so I'm going to make this video quick. Warning graphic, if you're going to look away now, because finally, after 6 hours and 15 minutes of time put into this darn beaver, my 62-pound beaver is done. Not the best fleshing job I've ever done. Could have probably done a little bit better there, but it was kind of freezing up. Okay, just a quick note. Why did it take me so long? Well, here's the thing. Do them when they're fresh. It's a lot easier. I'm not going to leave it in here for very much longer. I have one problem left to deal with, and that is basically I'm going to freeze it. It's all fleshed. I'm going to freeze it overnight because it's going to be cold. Fold it up properly, freeze it overnight, and I'm going to board it tomorrow. I could board it now, but the problem I have is my edges. One thing is when you're drawing the knife on it, you pull the grease right to the edge, and it kind of wets the pelt a little bit. It kind of like saturates the pelt. It's not soaked or anything. It'll dry overnight. I don't want to dry it indoors, obviously, because it'll start to set the but the fleshing's good on it. I'll talk about it more when I got more memory left on the camera, and when I've got it on the board, and then I can point out some of the boo-boos I made. Watch the nipples. This is a female. And I got one hole up there. But that tool, that scraping tool, I need to master that a bit better because it really worked well around the legs. It saves you from using your knife, but it is a very kind of like, you got to treat it like, you got to be a bit brutish with it, but it pulls the loose stuff off. But one of the main problems I had is it took me so long to get this. So I got the beaver. I fleshed it a new way where I cut the tail off and I did all that. And you can see where the trap had hit it. There's the bruise right there. And I had blood. So I was rolling the pelt in the blood, which then means the next day I had to take the pelt and wash it in a bucket. Okay? And then I had to let it dry for a day, but then it froze solid because it went down to minus 25. So then I had to thaw it out for about a day, which then I started fleshing it yesterday. It took 2 fleshings to get this thing done. But I was hoping it wasn't going to take 3, so at least it only got 2. But then what happened is now it's still a little bit wet, but because it took me so long to get it done, and being a beaver that's more prime, you could see the color of the hair there. It's almost, this beaver is pretty much prime. Cha-ching! The last thing problem you run into is the longer you wait, the animals feed off their fat late winter. They start feeding off their fat stores, which makes everything really tough. So every day you wait to skin them, every day you wait to flesh them, you got to fight for every ounce of it. So it's still not as bad as an otter in some ways, but this beaver took me a lot for what it was. I was like trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why is it taking me so long? But it was a tough beaver because I waited so long. So I'm going to change up my, but this is beaver number 1 in how many years, you know what I mean? So I didn't do too bad. Got around the tail really good. I mean, when do you say when? Could have got that a little better, but a lot of this is going to melt away and it's going to look really good. So all the fat's off, and I just got to clean up the edges, put it on the board, clean up the edges, all that, tie the legs, and so my mistake. I think I'm going to be able to get away with just a pin, so hopefully I'll be able to get away with the pin. But anyway, there you go, beaver number 1. And my beaver blitzkrieg traps are ready. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have 2 more beavers. But yeah, I'm going to be discussing my beaver strategy going forward. There we go.